You're in the office, baby. Going out.
I want the fortune, motherfucker fine. I want the Bentley, motherfucker right. God please forgive me, this shit I'ma kill. This shit from my soul, this shit from my spirit. Can't go nowhere if you ain't got no vision. Can't go nowhere if you don't know the distance. Fresh hair, Sunday school, class Christian. Fresh hair, Sunday school, fight with me. False new crock.
What you tried to do, you couldn't destroy me. I'm still standing. I'm still strong.
Herogasm.
What's going on, YouTube? We back in the Low Key Cave, Keyshawn Arms YouTube page, aka Mr. Low Key, and we are back with another TV show review. And we got The Boys Season 3, Episode 6, Herogasm review. This was the big episode, man. This was the episode Amazon was really pushing and promoting. This was supposed to be the most outrageous, most explicit episode. This was the episode, I don't know too much, or if anything about the comic book lore base behind this episode or whatever. But I know this was supposed to be that episode that really went above and beyond anything we had really seen, whether it had been previously on The Boys or just TV, period. But as far as that, which I am going to get to that whole scene, as far as the whole thing with Herogasm or whatever, just giving off my first opinion, it was very much tamed. And I feel like a lot of people felt that way, seeing the opinions on Twitter and online mentioning Herogasm. I feel like it was a lot tamed, but I also feel like that was purposely done because so many people were focused on what was going to be going on in Herogasm, what they was going to be showing or whatever. It kind of threw people off of, oh shit, we might be getting an actual fight between Butch and Homelander and Soulja Boy and Homelander and all of this, and we wasn't even paying too much mind to everything leading up to that. It was more about, as far as the episode go, Herogasm or whatever. So I feel like they kind of did that purposely because we done seen a lot of shit, especially with The Boys within seasons or whatever. They done a lot of shit that wasn't even close to what was going on in Herogasm. I mean, think about even earlier episodes this season. That first episode and the whole shit with the shrinking nigga Ant-Man parody or whatever, him going inside old buddy's shit. Like, think about that. Or even Kamiko and what she was doing with the dildos or whatever. Like, we done seen a lot. So that scene in particular, as far as Herogasm, is kind of tame. But going into this episode, we pretty much got Homelander, the Deep, and Ashley are pretty much trying to find what's going on as far as Soulja Boy and what he is going and where he is going or whatever. But he's pretty much, Homeland is pretty much trying to ask Black Noir, being that Black Noir has the most history with Soulja Boy, do he know or why he's doing what he's doing, because of finding out Soulja Boy killed Crimson Tide. I think that's her name, or Crimson, or whatever the Scarlet Witch parody girl is or whatever. But you know he killed her last episode as far as Soulja Boy. So now this is the whole thing. Why or what is going on with Soulja Boy? But we know, or we soon come to find out, that Soulja Boy is going after his ex-team members, you know, but pretty much feeling like they set him up or whatever. Black Noir knows this, so while Homeland is saying whatever he's saying to him, he pretty much take out his tracker and pretty much bounce, like he's out of here. He ain't trying to let Soulja Boy find him or anything, so he's pretty much getting up out of here. Mother Milk and Scarlet, I mean, my bad, I'm talking about damn Scarlet Witch. Mother Milk and Starlight, they're pretty much trying to catch a lead on, you know, Butcher, Huey, and Soulja Boy. Because Mother Milk's whole mission is still after Soulja Boy. But now it's like, I don't care, Huey, Butcher, I kill everybody. Like, it's whatever. And he's still on his revenge mission. It's still all about getting Soulja Boy. So now you got Starlight is pretty much trying to tame Mother Milk to keep him at bay until she finds out more about the mission or whatever they trying to do as far as they plan with Butcher, Huey, and Soulja Boy or whatever, which is pretty much them trying to get Homelander, because she already know that's what their main plan is, to take out Homelander or whatever. So she's pretty much trying to keep Mother Milk at bay so he doesn't end up dead, because he doesn't pretty much care at this point. I feel like he's damn near on a suicide mission as far as Mother Milk go or whatever. But yeah, going into my man Homelander, the Deep pretty much comes to Homelander and let him know, yo, Noir is out here. Black Noir is gone. And Homelander started going into his whole blacking out, you know, starts like, no, not Noah ain't gonna do me like that, because Noah helped him pretty much kidnap Queen Maeve, because we still don't know what's up with Queen Maeve. But now he starts to go into his little unhingedness as far as Homelander, pretty much starting talking to himself as far as his conscience, going into this whole thing about how he wishes people loved him, basically confronting his human side, if you would say. But he starts going into that or whatever. After they have some type of conference about Soldier Boy, pretty much trying to keep at bay as far as the civilians or whatever, letting them know that everything is under control or whatever, which they're trying to say, I mean, in the background it's really not, because Soldier Boy's out here blowing up shit or whatever, and they don't really have too many leads. But pretty much Victoria comes out pretty much trying to tame everything, being that she's basically the new Stan as far as Victoria go. But she pretty much tries to not really confront, but have somewhat of a conversation with Starlight, pretty much trying to, I ain't gonna say tame her, but make some type of deal with her as far as pertaining to some type of program or initiative she's trying to push, especially something dealing with her daughter, or pertaining to something that could help go towards what she's trying to do with her daughter. Because we still got the whole thing with Victoria injecting her daughter with Compound V or whatever. So that's still an interesting thing too. And I think she still has some type of plan up her sleeve as far as Victoria. But she's pretty much asking Starlight to pretty much step in and do a couple favors for her, and she's protect her from Homeland and this and the third. It's pretty much what Stan was saying to Starlight. And Starlight is pretty much done had enough. She's pretty much tired of all this shit with Vault, the company, and all they navigating or whatever, trying to push everything in the back, knowing that what's really going on with the superheroes, especially with Homelander being who he is, she's pretty much just tired of it. So it's pretty much this somewhat of, I would say, a standoff between Starlight and Victoria, but it's really Victoria pretty much letting her know, like, you know what I'm saying, keep this on out. Don't even mention this to nobody. Or it's pretty much a threat from Victoria. And she kinda, I would say, somewhat initiated, almost saying that she can make her head explode because Starlight starts to bleed from her nose, basically saying she kinda was hinting towards that point. But yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing how moving forward with Victoria and what's really going on with her and what she's trying to come up with, if she's got any plan, or she's maybe just the company person now. She's trying to do what she's doing pertaining to the company or whatever. Going forward and moving from that though, we do find out as far as Homelander coming from the deep getting information that Black Noir is on the run or whatever. So like I said, he's pretty much going into it with himself and his conscience, or inner conscience, dealing with what he's dealing with. Moving forward, we get back to Mother Milk and Starlight. They're pretty much got a heads up on where they can possibly get Soldier Boy and maybe even butcher them or whatever. But it's really Starlight trying to keep an eye on Mother Milk, because it's pretty much her knowing that this whole thing's leading up to a big confrontation or a fight between Soldier Boy and Homelander. And she knows Mother Milk is no match for either one. He can't do anything. But we really get that moment with Mother Milk, and we start to get a better understanding, and we find out actually what was up with what happened with Soldier Boy and his family, and this whole thing with what happened with Soldier Boy killing his grandfather. So now it's pretty much a thing where Mother Milk is dealing with this OCD, pretty much a fear of Soldier Boy coming back, killing the rest of his family. So it's a really good performance by Lance Alonso. Shout out to the performance with him and his role playing Mother Milk or whatever. And he really is stealing it this season, and his performance this season. And I really hope he don't die, because I feel like they kind of hinting towards, especially with all the emotion behind his character this season as far as Mother Milk, with him being the one to get took out or whatever. So I hope we're not leading towards that. I like his character. I really enjoyed his character, especially this episode, because him and Starlight are pretty much on their way to this party or whatever, which they don't know it's a party. But this is where we get into the whole Herogasm thing. Like, a lot is going on, but like I said, it's a little bit more tame than you think it is, even though they do a lot in this episode, especially pertaining to these certain scenes involving Mother Milk. You got the shrinking Negro, I think, coming out of somebody's vagina with the shit all over him, running into Mother Milk, and then this nigga trying to wipe his coat off, and then Mother Milk open up a door and get straight up sprayed. And I ain't got to go into detail, but if you can see it, then you know what I'm talking about. If you will watch the episode, then you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, Mother Milk is dealing with it this episode, man. And it's the fact that we getting these good emotional moments with him, and then we go to this house and they got the whole Herogasm thing going on, and then we got him dealing with all this shit. But then that's when we really go into the whole detail and everything that's going on behind the whole Herogasm orgy or whatever, and it's pretty much an annual thing. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Soulja Boy is the one that came up with it, whatever. But Butcher and Mother Milk and them, they already know about it. It's some traditional thing that the Soups do or whatever. So yeah. Other than that, we also dive over to Frenchie, like I said, and I meant to mention this earlier when I first started off, but Kamiko ends up getting grabbed by one of the Russians. So Kamiko and Frenchie and another girl, and I'm sorry I forgot who that girl was, they're pretty much kidnapped by the Russians. And you know that one Russian lady has some type of history with Frenchie or whatever, and he done been through it. She starts going into detail about certain things he's done been through or whatever, but it's pretty much her trying to make him make a choice between Kamiko and this other young lady or whatever. But my girl Kamiko starts going into goddamn Logan mode, and it almost seems like, is she getting her powers back or something at one point? I was starting to think, but it's a real brutal action scene, man. And once Kamiko started doing what she doing, man, I'm telling you, like, it's a scene too where she is getting, like, I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna say it was, Kamiko is basically getting punched, and it's like they won't stop, and she's getting punched enough real. So I'm thinking it's just going and going and going, and then it's like they go to another scene where she ends up stabbing the man that's punching her in the leg, and she starts just stabbing him repeatedly. It's a brutal scene, man. But it's pretty much, well, not the end of the whole confrontation between the Russians, because I think the main girl who ended up kidnapping them ends up getting out or whatever. But we got their whole thing going on as far as Frenchie and Kamiko, and I'm really ready for them to be able to just get somewhere and relax, man. Especially Frenchie, man, because they are going through it. Next, we pretty much lead into the whole thing still going on with the Herogasm. And then we pretty much got Huey and them showing up or whatever. Not only Huey, Soulja Boy, of course, and the Butcher. And this is him pretty much coming after the twins. As far as that whole take, I think them doing a parody on the Wonder Twins or whatever, as far as I think that's DC or whatever. But like I said, this is Soulja Boy coming after all his old teammates or whatever. So once again, my man Mother Milk, he finally got his one-on-one with Soulja Boy. But it doesn't happen, of course. Once again, he is no match for Soulja Boy, but it's just the hate. And once again, once he actually go into detail about it, and you actually understand why he's willing to do what he's doing, once again, it feels like he's somewhat of on a suicide mission as far as Mother Milk. But he is definitely the most impactful as far as emotion behind this season so far as Mother Milk. Shout out once again to the performance, Lance Alonso. But yeah, we don't get that fight, which I'm glad we don't. We actually get him and Butcher as far as Mother Milk. And you know Butcher is pretty much on compound 23, him and Huey, because they end up taking it before they end up heading to the mansion as far as the Herogasm thing for Soulja Boy to confront the twins or whatever. So we get this whole little confrontation between Mother Milk and Butcher, but we also get a little confrontation between Huey and A-Train. And once again, I meant to mention this earlier, man. A-Train had a whole incident with Ashley, bro, and I like it. I loved it. Ashley called A-Train ass out on his shit, because I almost forgot about what A-Train did or whatever, because I was behind A-Train trying to do his whole little crusade or whatever, you know, him doing the whole movement with Black Lives Matter or whatever, and him trying to come in into his whole his whole heritage or whatever, being that he was the one black superhero on the 7 or whatever. But it's really this confrontation between him and Ashley, and I forgot to mention this, but Ashley started calling him out on this shit, especially with the murders he has got. You know, him killing, running into Huey's girlfriend, where running through her, and the other murders he had did. Like, we forget this nigga in the earlier seasons, the shit that he had did or whatever. But it's a really good scene between him and Ashley, man, and he is sitting there basically appalled, and it makes him actually start thinking, I think, about everything he has going on, because what's really going on with A-Train is he's trying to confront Ashley as far as the cop suit. I forgot the name of the cop suit, but it's the whole thing with what happened with his friend and him being paralyzed and basically still unconscious, if I'm not mistaken. But she basically coming at him, but now that it's happened to you, A-Train, now you feeling some type of way, even though he's done caused so much havoc in other people's lives, especially with Huey. And that's where we get back to this, as far as the whole confrontation between A-Train and Huey, where A-Train actually ends up apologizing to Huey what happened. Like, it seemed like A-Train actually got some passion behind this apology with everything he got going on, even though Huey don't believe this shit, and he ended up punching him. And you know Huey is under Compound 23, or 24, my bad, man, I forgot the name of the exact shit they taking as far as Huey and Butcher, but you know he done took that shit, so now he punches A-Train, and it's a lot of force behind that, and A-Train looking like, what the fuck? How was you able to do that, and how was you able to make me feel it the way you did, being that I'm a super, you not? And we get that whole little thing, but like I said, it does kind of seem like A-Train is trying to redeem himself, and that's where we get to another scene between him and the cop, you know, that did the whole thing where he tried to take him to the Black Lives Matter meeting last episode, and he started beating up everybody as far as the cop. But this nigga A-Train, man, he grabs this nigga, throws him on the ground, and goes super speed and drags him on the road, and they go straight into detail, graphic detail, man. It's a really good scene, and it's one of the scenes where everything you know A-Train undone, and think about with him setting up Supersonic or whatever, you actually sitting there like, A-Train, okay, A-Train, okay, I see you, A-Train. But it's almost coming with a sacrifice, because you know once A-Train do the super speed, you know his heart and everything that's going on with his heart. So that actually comes into play dealing with that scene, and after he done dragging the old buddy as far as the cop that hurt his friend or whatever. Excuse me, y'all. But we also get back to my boy Soulja Boy confronting the twins, and they pretty much are trying to put all the blame on Black Noir, telling him it was all the Black Noir or whatever. But once again, you know, once Soulja Boy starts to get that emotion and starts to feel some type of way, that's where that energy starts to come from his chest, and he pretty much blows a hole through the whole mansion, injuring a whole bunch of people, whether they supes or not, because it's something about the whole Herogasm thing where I think supes are smashing regular civilians, or I think there's some shit behind it or something. Y'all can let me know if I'm wrong, but I think that had a lot to do behind it too. But we basically get Soulja Boy blowing the whole goddamn mansion in half, injuring a lot of people. And that's where we get my man popping up, Homelander. It's a funny ass scene when he pop up, man, because you know my shrinking man, after Soulja Boy pretty much blows up the mansion, the shrinking dude is pretty much damn near burned, and he's still small, and Homelander lands out of nowhere and squashes his ass. Like that, man, I'm telling you. But we do get the confrontation, and like I said, I think everything that was going on with Amazon promoting the whole Herogasm and everything, they was trying to throw people off from what was really going on as far as the confrontation and lead up to the confrontation and the fight that everybody's kind of been looking forward to as far as between Butcher and Homelander, and even with Soulja Boy. So we end up getting that big fight, and this doesn't disappoint. We get a lot of good comic booky scenes. Like, out of everything we've seen with the boys or whatever, this is the most comic bookish we have got. Like, this is our version of basically DC versus Marvel. I mean, you got basically Captain America fighting Superman, and then, I mean, who can you really call Butcher, basically? Like, that nigga Black Adam or some shit, I don't know. But then you got Huey even coming in, basically making it a 3 versus 1 as far as Homelander go, and you almost get them actually, and you even got, before I get to that, this scene with Butcher and Homelander pretty much doing like this whole little laser eye blast, like shoot off or whatever, like you done seen in the Marvel movies or whatever, when they have a little blast off or whatever, like the blast in the middle of, man, you know what I'm talking about. But we even get that type of scene as far as Butcher and Homelander. But we actually get them almost getting my man Homelander, like I said. But it's actually really showing you just how powerful this nigga Homelander is. Like I said, he's the equivalent of Superman, and he ends up actually at the pivotal time, at the nick of time, while Soulja Boy is actually about to do his blast, flying off, getting the hell up out of there. It's a good scene, man, and it's a really, really good action scene, and it's a really good, like I said, comic book scene as far as the whole fight or whatever between Soulja Boy and Homelander, Butcher and Homelander, and even Huey coming in, basically being able to teleport and doing what he doing, and him fighting Homelander, and them all jumping him and trying to take him out or whatever. But after that, we get like this little scene with Soulja Boy, Homelander, Butcher and Huey leaving, and them kind of giving like eye contact. You got Butcher looking at Mother Milk, and you got Huey looking at Starlight, and it's pretty much them just giving that nod and them going their separate ways, you know, especially with everything that's done happen. So it lets you know pretty much where Starlight is, because like I said, You seen everything as far as her and Victoria, and even with Stan, and even with Homelander, it's been a build-up with her. And now, with everything that's done happened, she pretty much has had enough. And now she's pretty much going online and pretty much confronting not just Homelander, but Vought as far as the company behind the suits or whatever, and pretty much calling everybody out on their shit and pretty much telling the truth behind everything that's going on. And letting them know that whatever happens, if something does happen to her, why it happened. So it's going to be interesting to see how Victoria reacts to this. I don't know if Homelander even going to be paying this too much mind because of everything that happened between Butcher, Soldier Boy, and Huey, and him dealing with it or whatever. So I don't know if he going to pay this too much mind. But it's going to be interesting moving forward to see how everything is about to play out, being that Starlight, being that she is a suit, has came out and pretty much put a spotlight on everything that's going on as far as Vaughn. Pretty much doing kind of what Victoria did to Stan some episodes ago. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they do that. And I'm really, really excited to see what's going on as far as, are we going to get this whole second fight between Homelander, Butcher, and Soldier Boy, possibly even Huey coming in there. Probably a little thing I forgot to mention was a little confrontation between Huey and Starlight. Pretty much Huey is just letting Starlight know that it does bother him that she is a suit, and the fact that, I guess, when they first started doing what they was doing as far as their relationship, Huey pretty much made it clear that it didn't bother him that she was a super whatever, pretty much that she's stronger than him, whatever. But with everything that's been going on, it pretty much comes out, and he pretty much lets her know it is bothering him, and that's why he enjoyed taking the compound 23 or 24 or whatever so much or whatever, because it actually gives him some strength or whatever, and he puts it in her mind and lets her know that sometimes he wants to save her, and that's one of the most important things and one of the reasons, or main reasons, why he likes taking it, because he feels like he's actually saving her or whatever. So we do get that little confrontation between them as far as Huey and Starlight or whatever. But yeah, man, and I'm also interested to see what's going on as far as A-Train, as far as if he going to be still alive around or whatever. But I'm pretty sure he's still going to be around. I'm pretty sure they're not just going to kill him off that way or whatever. But it's interesting, is he going to be able to come back after the whole thing with his heart or whatever. But yeah, man, this was probably one of the best, if not the best episode so far as this season. Like I said, with everybody, as far as the whole Herogasm thing, I wasn't disappointed. I said they showed enough. I didn't need to see too much. I was really more excited about the whole fight at the end with Butcher, Homelander, and Soldier Boy, and Huey and them or whatever. That's really one of the driving points for me at this episode or anything. But y'all let me know, how did y'all feel about this recent episode as far as The Boys, Season 3, Episode 6, Herogasm? Let me know if y'all was one of the ones as far as knowing all the things between the comic book lore and you know what went on behind that. Was you one of the ones that was kind of looking forward to this, or was you let down behind the whole Herogasm thing? Or was you kind of good because of the whole fight confrontation? Let me know in the comment section. Make sure y'all hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. This is the road to 600 subs. Shout out to all my newer subscribers who've been coming through and checking out the content. I do appreciate it. Shout out to everybody who's been coming through, checking out the live as far as Uncut Ish Talk. I do appreciate it. Other than that, man, we out.
Come in, you are more than welcome to party.
So I went out there broke. I wasn't even thinking about acting. I was just thinking about surviving. But such is life. I ended up doing it, what I love the most. I ended up doing both of those things.